What's going on in your world?
Not much. You always call me when I'm related, like I'm Kathy.
Kathy, why did I?
There is
I can switch. I'm flexible.
I know.
It's easier for me than you.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District on July 5th at 5:15. Commissioner Ernst,
Here,
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins.
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsett,
Here,
Commissioner Red. Here. Any changes to the agenda? No. Any public requests?
I would like to talk.
Come on up to the podium and we need your name and your address, please.
No?
Yep, it's public request time.
All right, well, these are gonna be fun. Good evening.
Please press the button. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jackie Gliston at 6250 Northwest 4th Avenue. This weekend, this 4th of July weekend, I hope you all have a great weekend, by the way. I went to the Spanish River Park. And what I saw, it's still giving me nightmares to think that I will see that around our single family homes where we live. So I have two questions. The first question is, if the Miller Lake proposal gets approved by the end of the year, when are the commencement, when is the job going to be starting? Is it to be in 2023 or in 2024 or in 2025, 25th? Any idea when that work will be starting?
This isn't a question and answer time period that we're doing. I don't think there's any time frame as of right now within the master planning process though. There's really no time frame. We haven't settled on anything. We haven't voted on anything. There are no concrete plans as of right now for anything in Ocean Breeze.
Okay, well, thank you for answering. I didn't know it was just a venting situation, not a question and answer, so thank you for answering. And my other question, well, venting comment is that on the voting process, well, so-called voting process for Miller Lake, which I already expressed in the first meeting that it was unfair, the way it had been presented. I would like to know how much of a percentage does our voting really matters in what's gonna be developed? And the reason for my question is because I see that I've talked to people in my neighborhood and all the other streets. And on Zoom, they're not allowed to talk. It's only 2 minutes and they don't have any time for them. But mainly, the way Miller Lake presents it is first, here is the idea, which is vaguely presented. Then you guys get your docs and you vote on what you want, except there is no box for none of the above. So that raises a question on me. And then at the very end, the very end, the people talk. When I believe it should be the other way around. It should be first presenting, then the people talk, and at the very end, people vote. So I'm wondering, how much do our voting really makes a difference? Or how heavy is our voting in the last decision of what's gonna be built?
You mean the people that live right there? Like, you're
Yeah, like
asking if
all-
your vote is weighted more so than,
No, in terms, not which voting weighs more. Like all of the people living in the single family resident 3 streets, where actually the game is gonna, the show is gonna go on. And the condo people, all of those votes together, if that counts. How much all of them together will weigh on what the city or Boca Beach or whatever entity decides on doing?
Well, I mean, it's gathering information and gathering what people want there. So it's not like your vote is being counted as a vote and choosing exactly what goes there. We take into consideration what information is gathered and what the voting what they say people want based on the votes. And then we go ahead and in the end, the 5 of us make the decision on what we think is best for the property.
Okay,
So in the end, we are, it's a information gathering, that's what they're doing within the master planning process. And keep in mind, that master plan is like a 20-year master plan, not everything is being built at once, straight away. And again, it's not decided, nothing is decided.
okay, no, that gives me an idea. All right, well, thank you so very much for your answer, I appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Kathy Fernley. I live at 5991 Northwest 4th Avenue. And one of the things I was thinking about, I don't have a lot of detail, but I do remember that when the golf course was first sold, and then this purchaser flipped it to a developer that wanted to put on townhomes and stuff. One of the problems they had, besides the fact that we had a deed restriction for golf in perpetuity, was no access, road access to the southwest part of that land. So meaning that they couldn't really come out on Jeffries, I had to think Clintmore Jeffries, because of the way 95 is going from the west to the east, that it was really a safety issue. And I don't remember them being able to come up with any definitive access on the south side of that property either. So when Miller Lake put up those things, they had parking there on Third Terrace a lot. And I thought that that was from the city really not supposed to ever be. So, I mean, from my standpoint, that would bear well for the golf course being in that southwest corner at least, and that would eliminate any problem with the traffic that I'm talking about in terms of access, and especially with Clintmore. People speed there. People don't really realize it, but because we live there, we hear it and stuff. And I can come out of my street and I can go west, but I don't have to worry about somebody just flying over the overpass and coming down and slamming into me if I were trying to make a left to go west, if I was on the south side of Jeffries. And that's why I think that that was restricted once before. So that's something that I want you guys to consider. The second thing is where Jackie lives, I've seen it. The birds come there every winter, and even though it's not a designated natural area or whatever for preserve, it is in itself its own preserve. And so really be considerate about what you choose to do, because you will affect possibly all of that birding that comes there and may disrupt that forevermore. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead.
My name's Leslie Roth. I live at 6,000 Northwest 4th Ave. Kathy and Jackie are my neighbors. And what they had to say, I agree with. I also think that there's a few things. One is to reiterate, once that bridge is finished, people speed over that bridge and come fast. And right now, looking at that plan for Miller Lake, they want to put a turn in right there. Myself coming out of Fourth Ave, making a left to go to Second is hard enough when people are coming over that bridge. Thinking of people coming in and out to what the buildings that they want to put there, is ridiculous to me. It's gonna be a nightmare and you're gonna have accidents constantly. The police are there often enough to give speeding tickets, but it's not something we want to add to. Also, security, privacy. I saw that they wanted to maybe have nighttime golf. And they said, oh, the lights will go into the golf course, not out to your homes. I don't really want people walking in the back of my home in the evenings, and also the whack of golf balls when I'm home from work or at night. I don't think that's right for the homes that are there. We have, Jackie has a beautiful piece of property with the birds that are gorgeous, and they come and roost even in our backyard. So I would hate to see anything disrupt that. I love some of the things that were on the plan. I'm all for the botanical garden, a place for the kids to play, some golf. But I think we need to, think about the security issues, think about the preserve, and think about the single family homes and what it's going to do to the noise and the traffic. And I would appreciate it if you would all take into consideration our needs as well as what the city needs. Because I do think you have, a great piece of property that we can use for a lot of for a lot of your issues and things that the city would be great to have. But there's things that we need to address before you make a final plan. And I've been trying to go to some of the meetings. I've been watching online, but I never get an email about any of the meetings. So I don't know where your database is, because I've spoken and I've talked, and I would really like to make sure that I'm on some kind of email list of what you send out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wayne Whitfield. I live at 5620 Northwest 3rd Terrace. It is the little loop right inside the middle of the Ocean Breeze property, kind of opposite to the south side of Jackie and Kathy. And I think Leslie, thank you. So I pretty much have the same concerns, but not to be redundant. So a couple of other things that I wanted to point out in this whole process, and Aaron, I appreciate you kind of elaborating that, this is it's an evolving work in progress. It takes time, not everything's set in stone. But I think the sooner we kind of voice our, direction we'd like, preferences, then maybe the better that is, as opposed to trying to change things after we've already been set. So, but some of the concerns I have is that many of the amenities that were presented by Miller Lake are readily available already at other parks in the general area of the city. So I would hate to see a dilution of those, facilities, to offset to this location and none get fully utilized. So I'm just saying that might not be necessary to have all these amenities there when we're already located somewhere else. The revenue generator seems to be developed, right? And I think that is a preference of a lot of the residents. So I just want to kind of emphasize that. That is my preference as well. I know that from an ulterior motive, I know that's probably what's going to raise the property value of all the homes in the area and being a revenue source for the city in the Beecher Parks District as well. Ideally, I know that the main goal was to have and maintain an open space concept. So eliminating a lot of these amenities would help do that, as opposed to concrete structures. Maintaining a lot of our privacy, safety, the nuisance of additional population, people. We're trying to avoid loud noises, pavilions, I have a beautiful, nice setting out back. I would love to see it maintained as just a nice preserve. Maybe a central walking trail like there kind of is sort of right now, if it had to be. Just so you can enjoy some of that as well. But ideally, open space, natural is probably the least expensive route to go as well, so. One other thing too, I've been attending some of the sustainability meetings as well. Lindsay Rowland, she's doing a lot of work there as well. They're talking about the tree canopy program as well as part of that Race to Zero. And I don't know if these departments are in communication with each other, Miller Lake, the beach and parks, but the Ocean Breeze property has a great opportunity to capitalize on new tree canopy. It's a lot of space there, so we'd love to see that. But all in all, safety is an issue. That bridge getting completed, I know that I have already been in touch with the FDOT and everybody that's involved with that project, and trying to get a right turn, designated right turn going east over the bridge, Third Terrace turning into our neighborhood. But that was not included in the original plans, so therefore it cannot be just retrofitted right now or modified. So, but I've seen there's going to be, a lot of accidents happening, unfortunately, unless it's controlled. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully some of these concerns don't fall on deaf ears, and I know it's a work in progress, but hopefully, our privacy would be a nice buffer between our homes and development. Lakeview would be beautiful as that buffer. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else?
There is one online request.
Okay,
Good evening, Robert. Please unmute yourself and state your name and address. You've got 5 minutes to speak. Thank you.
Hello, Robert Duquette, 5351 Northwest 3rd Terrace. And I just wanted to, again, reiterate some of my neighbors' issues with the whole Miller Lake circus that went on recently. I think that all you were missing was a Ferris wheel. And the important issue was there was nothing discussed apparently in their instructions regarding the cost of all of these improvements that are being considered. That's the mistake that was made in part with the golf course. And I think that's something that needs to be a priority. Also, the majority of the city council has repeatedly indicated their disapproval for anything golf related. So all the talks about golf, unless something has changed with the city council, which to my knowledge hasn't, because I've talked to the majority of the city council. And I think that getting people's hopes up for golf is unrealistic at this point. Also, based upon the last 3 years of budget items, you had about $11.5 million that were budgeted for this project. And you spent, unfortunately, probably about $1 million on the golf issue and maybe another $1 million since. So there should be maybe $9 to $9.5 million available to get this project started if you had some direction from the city on what they would approve. So I would hope that you would give 2 or 3 different proposals to the city and let them come back to you so you have a good idea of what is approvable and of course what is not. But thank you for saving the green space, and we look forward to seeing this progress.
thank you, Robert. Okay, anybody else online?
Nope.
Okay, we're gonna close public requests. We'll do approval of the minutes of the previous board meeting held on June 21st. Have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? Yes,
A second.
second, discussion? Nope, Joanne?
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
yes,
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, on to regular business. The first item is the grant writer agreement. Brianne?
Commissioners, on page 7 of your agenda packets is the agreement with NREM Solutions. They were selected for the district to engage as a grant writing service. They will start work immediately on some of our upcoming projects and see if we can get some funds allocated. Their agreement is on page 7, and I want to thank Commissioner Rollins for reviewing the insurance and walking through those sections with me as usual, and always educating me as I move along. So tonight, just looking for approval of this agreement with NREM Solutions.
Madam Chair, I make the motion that the agreement for the grant writer be approved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No, all right, Joanne? Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
yes,
Commissioner Wright? Yes. Motion passes. Okay, number 2, the Sugar Sand Park Community Center Roof Design Services. Brianne?
Commissioners, on page 18 of your agenda packets is the proposal from Calvin Giordano and Associates to start the process of reviewing the roof at Sugar Sand Park and putting together a design to replace the roof there. That roof has never been replaced since it's been constructed, so looking for approval tonight on this work order, a total of $71,994.
So how old is the roof then?
30 years, almost 30 years. Oh, I'm sorry, 27, 25, 26 years old.
Okay, it's a metal roof, right?
Parts of it, it's a mixed, it's mixed.
Flat metal.
Yeah. And there's been leaking and things like that, it has to get done.
Move to approve.
Second.
Shin.
Yeah, go ahead, Suzie.
Have we looked into any possibility of doing solar on this roof?
We have not, but we can add that to the scope as they start the design, see if there's any options for some solar panels that would help offset electrical costs. That's a good point.
Would you also ask them if that would increase the cost of the scope?
It definitely will increase the cost. But we can approve this tonight and then add that on as an addendum to it,
Okay,
additional work.
All right, Joanne? Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
yes,
Commissioner Wright? Yes, motion passes.
And everybody's in agreement that we'll have them look at any sustainability options for the roof as well.
Okay, number 3, the Patrick Park Fitness Trail resurfacing. Brianne?
Commissioners, at the start of the budget, we approved a project, or you all approved a project to resurface the trails, section of the trails at Patrick Park that are, they have cracks and root intrusions on them. We waited to see if there was any opportunity for additional funding for this, but there's not for this particular trail. We had budgeted $200,000. We have a quote for $97,775. Looking for approval tonight so we can actually get this done this budget year. I think Commissioner Wright mentioned at our last meeting that she's been out there, so you've seen the concerns. So just looking tonight for approval of $97,775.
move to approve,
Second.
Yes.
I know that there's, trees along the path here, and I know that they're difficult containing the roots that grow underneath the asphalt. But I seem to recall some discussion about putting some root blockers along the side there to prevent them from actually burrowing under and causing the upheaval in the asphalt. Is that
Yes.
okay? All right, I'm good.
Okay, Joanne? Any other questions, Craig, Suzie? No?
No, I think I agree with Bob. There's a root, maintenance that needs to be done with it. So it's important to do that as the whole project.
The rubber path at Lake Wyman, Is that an option or not really over there?
We have to tear it up and put down a new surface, like that was done on, we did that actually with the grant money years ago.
Yeah.
But we could certainly look at that. But it would be much more costly than this.
Okay, Joanne? Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes,
Commissioner Wright? Yes. Motion passes. Okay, approval of payroll and invoices, we're gonna pass this over to Bob.
Step following the mature treasurer that we've had just reports, but I'll do my very best. Madam Chair, in the packet, you have invoices totaling $1,089,380.66. The largest being the O&M from the city of Boca for the month of February that I submit to the board for approval. Are any discussions or any questions on these items? Hearing done, I'd like to make a motion that the invoice totaling $1,089,308.66 be approved.
second,
Okay, Joanne? Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Scare me there for a minute, Craig. Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
yes,
Commissioner Wright? Yeah. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to reports and discussion items. Brianne?
Thank you, Commissioner Wright. Commissioners, tonight, just a few updates, and also to address one comment that was made during the public comments. All of our meetings are posted on our website at mybocaparks.org. There's a calendar and you can sort it by the month or by the list of whatever you're looking for, but that's where we post all of our meetings. And that's where they're advertised. And you could certainly ask Joanne to get on we have a circulation of agenda packets. If you want to get on that, you can talk to Joanne and drop your email off and we can add you to that list so you can get copies of the agendas. And the newsletter as well. Yeah, we'll add you to that. The newsletter does not post our meetings. It's just about our projects and things like that going on. Carousel repairs are almost complete, and I really want to thank Ted over at Sugar Sand Park. He's been coordinating with Melissa, as well as our contractor out there to make sure they have access to the carousel and assisting with repairs, renovations throughout the process. All the work is anticipated to be done by the end of next week. And then the carousel has to go through a state inspection, so we're still on track to get it open by the end of this month, which is great because it's been closed a long time and I know people will be excited to see that open. A few updates on some of the city managed projects. The Redwood Southwestern that was approved at the beginning of this year, they are hopefully going to get a building permit for that in early July. They do not anticipate finishing that until the start of next fiscal year, so that will be a carryover into next year's budget. The sale pavilion that was approved by this board on April 4th is still awaiting purchasing approval by the city, so that looks like another project that will not get done this current fiscal year. Pipes and pumping is on track to finish this fiscal year. And then I want to make sure we wish everybody a happy Parks and Recreation Month. This July is National Parks and Recreation Month, so make sure you get out, explore our parks. And if you're traveling, stop by some of the local parks where you are, take a look at what they have and let us know if there's anything we need to have here. And future agenda items, we have exploring traveling exhibits. We've put a lot of those on hold as we got through the COVID, but it's time to start seeing some new exhibits there. And then we have a proposed tentative millage rate to discuss. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay, District Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have nothing to report this evening. We cannot top Ms. Harness. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Steve, wanna start?
A belated happy 4th of July to everybody. And other than that, I got nothing.
Bob, you have anything for us?
Just some general comments, about public comments. I mean, we're aware of these issues. And, I wouldn't want some of this activity in my backyard either. And I think we're going to do our very best to have city agreement on what we're looking to put over on the golf course on the west side. We require, because of the funding arrangement on purchase of that property, that we have city approval on that property. And I think when we ultimately have this master plan design, that we will have that approval. And I think that, you know, you hear conflicting information from folks who talk to members of council about what they will and will not accept. And until I get it from the horse's mouth, I'm not taking anything to the bank. But I do respect the comments that folks are making this evening. I certainly hope that what we end up having is a suitable compromise for the recreation facilities and the needs for the community as far as open space. And I think we'll do the best. It's hard to predict when and how property is going to be developed, largely because of the funding that was mentioned earlier. We have to have money set aside for the development of whatever we decide to do before we go to bids. So it's a process, and I wish we were further along than what we really are, but I think this is not something that I want to hurry. And I want to get it done. I want to get it done right for the community. So rest assured, I share the concerns that the neighbors have on this property. Other than that, you know, I hope everybody had a safe 4th of July and celebrated, you know, our history that we have, good and bad. And I hope for the better next 4th of July, the gas prices will be down and cooking out will be less expensive than it has. So that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susie?
I'd just like to reiterate what Bob has just said. Actually, I would like for someone to confirm with City Council that they're against having any type of golf at this, on this property. That's not the information that we've been given, and I'd really like it to be confirmed so that we aren't, you know, peddling and going nowhere. I don't want to spend the taxpayers' money if the City Council won't approve it. So I too had a wonderful 4th of July with my family, and I hope you all did too. It was an incredible day. So I have nothing else.
Thank you. Right?
Yes, two things. One is, Brianne, could you provide a brief update on Ocean Strand and the pathway? Is there the time frame of that to be installed soon, or?
We're still waiting on one more permit to get issued. There's 2 permits for the project. And the one for the tree removal was issued, but the one for the pathway is still waiting. We sent the beautiful, the check that was cut at the last meeting was for the taxpayers had to fund the impact fees for the beautification department. So we dropped that check off and we're waiting on, just waiting on that permit to get issued for that, and then they'll start the work. So once we have both permits in hand, then we can schedule workers, but we can't schedule workers who will then leave and not come back because the other permit's not issued. So it's been frustrating, but that second permit is still held up at the city.
So do you have a rough, can you inquire and maybe get a rough estimated time? Because once the pathway is done, is the park open, or what's our opening timeline? That seems to be kind of missing.
My goal is always to have it done, like if we're gonna be in this contest, the goal is to have it done by the end of this calendar year.
Okay.
If we get permits issued by the end of July, the second permit issued by the end of July, they'll start the work and hopefully be done by the end of the, now the trees, everything has to be done by hand with an archaeologist out there, so that obviously takes it should be maybe 6 weeks. It'll be longer because of all the stuff that has to be done by hand now, so it extends it a little bit, but it should be done by the end of this calendar year.
Okay. Well, good. I hope we can schedule something soon. So at least by the end of the summer, we have a better idea of where we're at with it, because it just seems like a long process for a simple, but it's a very sensitive area. So I totally get it. Regarding, continuing just a discussion on Ocean Breeze and the design over there. fully support what Bob just mentioned, but I'd add that, we went down the path of a master designer, planner, and I can tell you from my perspective, I'm fully supportive of letting them do their work and let them finish out their process. And I encourage them to go meet with the city council to get their feedback and city administration, continue that process. And I realize that some of those things may not be expensive, and there are a lot of other constraints that will come in play that will possibly eliminate them. So I would say it's let them do their work, and then we'll overlay the constraints of what we can't do and kind of define a little bit more. But I want to reemphasize it is public property. We have to do what's best for it. We said going into it what our goals was to preserve green space, and I hope that we do that. But green space may mean that, someone is walking or using the back area there. That is, our duty, and that's the tough part of the job. And it's just the way it is. But we will do our very best to be sensitive to the neighbors and their homes. But it is public property, and it would be inappropriate not to make it a public space and public property and use it in its best format for everyone. So I support letting the master planners do their work. And then the tough part will come back to us of what do we really think we should be done? And it's not just us, it is the city staff and elected that will have a lot of say in it. So, but I hope it'll be a collaborative issue. The do nothing option is not one of them though. So we shouldn't have bought it if we were going to do nothing. So we are there to do something for the best of the community. So that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, thanks, Craig. I kind of reiterate what Bob and Craig said on Ocean Breeze. But again, Miller Lake, we do have to let them do their job. I want them to do their job. They're good at what they do. If you've looked at the other projects that they've worked on. And they did meet with city council. They did meet with city staff. So I don't think they would have put a plan together and included golf in it after speaking with them if they all said, no, we don't want golf, right? So we just have to figure out what the best mixture and type of facilities and type of recreation is best there. And again, that is a very, it can be a bit of a process to get to the point that we want to get to, that everybody can compromise on and everybody can agree on. And again, not everybody is gonna be 100% happy. None of us are gonna be 100% happy. Residents are gonna be 100% happy, but everybody hopefully will be at least like 75% happy. Let's aim for that. And then that was it. I didn't happen to get over to Spanish River. I kind of wanted to stay away from crowds yet again this year. But I hope that the 4th of July went really well over there, and everything went smoothly, hopefully. 13,000. Kind of glad I didn't but that's it from my end. So I do have to bring up one of the meetings on August 1st. I will be away. So Bob, if you want to take that over, unless we want to move it, but I don't want to have to change anybody's schedule or anybody for that. So if you're okay doing that and I won't be here, that would be fine with me.
I'm in town, be happy to manage the meeting.
Okay, perfect. All right, so future agenda items, you already listed those? Yes. All right, I guess that's it.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes, Craig, where are you?
Scotland.
Okay, stay safe and come back safe.
Thank you.
Commissioner Vogelsang
Yes.
and Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.